Hi everybody. Now that you have some background information on additive and subtractive manufacturing, and we've got some background information on our lasers or laser engravers, I'm going to show you one of the projects that we would do with our VLS 4.6 and the rotary attachment. You would do the design work typically here using CorelDRAW, and since you don't have CorelDRAW at home and there's no way for us to get you an online version at home, you're going to send me the clip art or pictures you want and the text that you want on yours glass, and then I'm going to do it for you, and then later once we get them all done I'll have a pickup time and you can come and pick it up. So every single one of you has I'm going to give you a glass like this, that is just clear glass, and then you're going to do the design work, and we're going to use the raster function, and you're going to put designs on here with text. So like on this one it's got the Viking logo, got a little MHB football logo on the back, it's got some text, got someone's name on, and we're going to do that. Now, you could do this for yourself, you could do it for your parents as a gift, or one of your friends, or you can do it for anyone. That's totally up to you. You're just going to pick out the image or images that you want on there. You're going to tell me the text that you want on there, and you're also going to have to tell me the font of the text. So I'll have a template for you to follow along and guide you when you go through that process, but I'm just going to show you how that works right now. We would be using CorelDRAW. So when you open it, you would say I already have an account, and then we would say skip, and it would automatically load on the machines. So we have this on all the computers in the drafting lab and all the computers within the fab lab space. I would go new document. I would pick my width to be 24 inches, my height to be 24. I would want the landscape mode, and I'll leave my resolution at 300 dots per inch, and I'll hit OK. And there is my laser engraver space. And we learned the other day, or going through the presentation, that this is my 0 and this is my x-axis. This would be my y, so this would be positive on the x, negative on the y. Now you're going to notice the grids don't read that way, so we're going to go in here and change that so we get a much easier setup for us. We're going to go to ruler setup. Horizontal, we're going to say that is 0, and on our vertical we're going to say that we are 18 inches, and we'll hit OK. And now this became our 0, 0 point right there. So if I can go right in there, you can see that we're at the 0, 0 up on our grid. Now, CorelDRAW allows you to go in and put some guidelines or some cheat lines in there. So I'm going to pull one over here, and I'm going to put that at 22. So I'm just grabbing the grid here, and I'm just pulling over, dropping these lines in here. I'm going to put this one at 18. I'm going to pull this one in. I'm going to make this one -9, because remember we're on negative axis of the y. Now, this is our workable area, and you're thinking, that looks strange. Think of it this way. The glass is going to sit on that fixture like this. So this is the closest end, and this is going to be the farthest end, and then this is going to be the y. Look at it this way. If I were to wrap a piece of paper around this glass and I open it up, it would look like this, and I could put design work on all this, because as the laser works, the rotary tool will turn this nice and slow for you. Why 18 to 22? Well, the glass where it sits will actually be at 17 and 23, but we don't want to go on the top inch because that's where we place our lips when we drink. Sometimes rastering gets a little sharp and rough, and we want to stay about a ½ inch off the very bottom of the glass where the solid part stops. If you laser engrave on this, you run the chance of shattering your glass. So we're going to pull up about an inch. So that gives us 18 to 22. The glass is tapered, so it's thicker at the top than it is the bottom. So when we open it up, we've kind of found a happy medium, and -9 inches is that circumference around that glass, basically in the center. So here we go. Where am I going to get images? Well, you could go get those off of Google. So I'm just going to go in here and open Google Chrome, and I could go search images. So let's say I wanted to do a white tail deer. I'm going to search clip art first because clip art tends to be black and white. And I'm going to get lots of options that I could pick and choose. That one's a little bit more defined. And I could right click, do a save image as, and I would label that like white-tailed deer. So we're looking for PNG or PNG files, or we're looking for JPEGs or PIC files. And then you can save them on your computer. And then we're going to have a location where you can upload those for me to put them on your glass. And I could go get as many images as I want. Now, you may be asking or maybe thinking, like, isn't that breaking copyright? If we were going to take these glasses and we were going to raster them and then sell them in the school store and make money, yes, it's illegal. We couldn't use images that we get on Google or off websites. Since it's for your own use, there's a clause in copyright or a section called fair use, personal use / educational use. So it's for you, it's not for anybody else, and it is for educational purposes, so we can steal images and we can use them. Hopefully that answers your questions. Now, don't make this and then sell it on eBay for lots of money, and then you can get yourself in trouble. So once I'm back in here, I want everything to fall within this space. So I'm going to go File, Import. And I've downloaded some images already just to save us some time. So I'm going to go get this Motion W, bring it in here, and I'm going to put it in my glass. Now you're going to notice it would be, if my glass is sitting this way and it's going to raster that W that way, it would look funny when I turn it up. It'd be sideways. So I must rotate it a -90. And I could also size that and move it around as much as I want it to. I'm going to just narrow this up a little bit too and make it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put it at the -4.5. So I'm going to center it on my glass. And I'm going to center it right in on my glass at 20, between 18 and 22, so it's right in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to File, Import, and I'm going to bring in a little football. And I'm going to make this small. I'm going to rotate that a -90. And I'm going to move that and put it up here in this, right about there. And I just feel like that's going to be way too big, so I'm going to shrink it up a little bit. And I could put more in there. Maybe it's going to get cluttered, so I'm just going to do one more small one just to kind of show you. And I'm going to do a little badger helmet. That's going to be also -90. And I'm just going to put that up here also. I'm going to center that at 21.5. I'm also going to center my football at 21.5. And if it's a little bit above, then I'm going to shrink it. And it's only a fraction above there, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now maybe I'll shrink it just a little bit. Perfect. Kind of get an eye like it looks balanced. Because remember, this edge here is going to wrap around my glass and touch this edge over here. So I might pull my helmet out just a little bit. Get out there. And there's my images. I could put 2 big ones, 1 big image. I could put 4 little ones. You just don't want to clutter up this whole glass with things. I'm just going to go back, take these out, because I decided I only want to use the Motion W. And I'm going to slide him up a little bit so he's right on the edge of my top line. Now, CorelDRAW is much like Photoshop. Over here is a text tool, and I'm going to come over here and create a text box. And I'm going to increase my font to, say, 36. And I'm going to type in Badger Football. I'm going to pick a much heavier font. Oh, got to highlight it before I do that. So I get something a little blockier. Come in here, and I'm going to shrink up my text box a little bit. But I'm also going to go in there, I'm going to highlight this, and I might go just a little bit bigger. I want to make sure it's big enough to see. So I'm liking that a little bit. I'm going to just stretch this out this way. Oh. There. Now, that also has to be rotated. -90. So that's not on its side. And I'm going to set that at the -4.5, so it's centered on my glass. And I'm going to put it right at the bottom, so I'm going to go right at 18. And boom, there it goes. Now, does the G hang a little bit below? Yes. Everything else is perfectly fine. And I'm just going to kind of, could I zoom in a little bit and be like, heck, I'm going to just take this, push it up just a little bit. There. If I wanted to, just a hair, just to make sure it's good, and I could zoom back out. And there I've created text and an image, both in black, so it's going to, what we call raster. A lot of times with glass, you'll hear people say, I bought a frosted glass. Frosted and raster are very interchangeable terms. And now I'm going to do a file, save as. I'm going to come out here and save this as Mr. Liferate Badger Football. I had one, so I'm going to replace it. I made a couple changes and hit save. And yes, I'll replace it. From here, then, I would go into hook my printer up to my computer, and I would actually do, or my laser, I should say, and I would actually do it like a print, which I'm going to create a new video for that won't be as confusing, and we can go through that when we go to the laser engraving room, and we'll actually laser engrave this piece of glass.